Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Podcast. I'm your host, Anna, and I am so happy to be here with you today, even if I am feeling a little bit like a zombie.
Hey, Anna. Hey, everyone. A zombie, you say? Well, as long as you aren't looking for brains for breakfast, I think we're okay, but I totally get it. I'm Dan, and I must admit, my brain feels a bit like scrambled eggs today.
Scrambled eggs? Oh no, Dan. That sounds like you've had quite a week. I think our listeners can really relate to that feeling of being totally overwhelmed or just completely exhausted.
Totally. I had a moment yesterday that was just, wow. I was so stressed out and my mind was racing so fast that I actually stood in front of my apartment door for a good 2 minutes just clicking my car key remote. I was wondering why the front door wasn't unlocking.
Oh, Dan, that's classic. Honestly, it's a relief to hear I'm not the only one. Just last night, I was so wound up about our recording schedule that I tried to scroll the page of a physical book with my thumb, like it was a smartphone screen. I think that's a pretty clear sign that I've been under a lot of pressure lately.
The digital thumb move. That's great. But seriously, it's like we're all running constantly these days, right? We're tired, we're burnt out. It's like this universal feeling where everyone is just, they're struggling to keep their heads above water.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're exploring today on the show. Stress and relaxation. It's such a huge topic because it connects so deeply with modern life. Whether you're a student worrying about exams or a professional with work deadlines, or even just dealing with the usual adult life package of money and family, it hits everyone.
The adult life package. I love that, even though it sounds a bit like a gift I'd rather return to the store. But you're right, Anna. Stress is it's a normal part of life, but man, it can feel so heavy sometimes, like you're carrying a heavy backpack that you just can't take off.
That's a perfect way to put it. And for our intermediate learners listening in, this is such a great topic for your vocabulary. People are always asking things like, have you been busy lately? Or how do you deal with stress? So learning these idioms and expressions will really help you sound more natural and confident.
For sure. So let's dive into the why of it all. Why do we feel this way? I was reading that stress is actually a survival mechanism, right? Like a fight or flight response?
Right. It's our body's way of preparing to face danger or escape it. Back in the day, our ancestors needed it to run away from, a hungry tiger. Your heart starts pumping furiously, your blood pressure goes up, and you get this injection of glucose to your muscles so you can move fast.
But I don't see many tigers in the office, Anna.
Exactly. That's the problem. In the 21st century, our brains can't always tell the difference between a life-threatening predator and, a difficult boss or a full email inbox. So we stay on this red alert for way too long.
And that's when it becomes chronic stress, right? When it doesn't let up for weeks or months. I've definitely felt that. It's like my body thinks those Monday morning emails are actually a tiger attack.
Exactly. And when you're in that state, you might feel overworked or like you're snowed under with tasks. Have you ever used that expression, Dan? Being snowed under?
Oh, all the time. Usually it's when I have a lot on my plate. It feels like I'm buried under a mountain of work and I just can't find the exit. It's enough to drive anyone crazy.
It really is. And when you're at your wit's end, which is one of my favorite idioms, it means you've tried everything. You're exhausted and you just don't know what to do next.
At my wit's end. Yeah, I was there on Tuesday. I think the phrase actually comes from old literature, like from the 1300s. Back then, wit meant your mental ability, not just being funny. So it literally meant you would reach the end of your mental powers.
Wow, that makes so much sense. It's like your brain is just out of fuel. And when that happens, we often get short-tempered. I know I've been known to snap someone's head off if they ask me a simple question when I'm stressed.
Oh, I know that feeling. You don't mean to be mean, but you just can't take it anymore. You lose your patience because your stress cup is already full to the brim.
Exactly. It's like any little thing, even a tiny drop makes the cup overflow. We've all been there, haven't we? So, Dan, since we talked about being at our wits' end, let's look at the flip side. That moment when the pressure finally stops. For me, it usually feels like a huge weight off my shoulders. Or sometimes people say a weight has been lifted. Do you get that physical feeling of relief?
Oh, absolutely. It's that literal sigh of relief, like when you've been worried about something and then poof, nothing bad actually happens. It's like I can finally breathe again. Sometimes I feel like I've been holding my breath for days without even realizing it.
That's such a common feeling for intermediate learners to describe. It's like you're suffocating under work and then you step away and you're back to normal. But Dan, how do you actually get to that back to normal state? Do you have a specific way to unwind?
Well, I love that word unwind. It's funny because if you're stressed, you're wound up like a tight spring, so you have to let that tension go. I usually try to unplug for a bit. We live in such a technology-heavy world that I feel I need to disconnect or even get off the grid entirely sometimes.
Off the grid? That sounds so serious, like you're hiding in a cabin in the woods. But seriously, unplugging is so important because phones and notifications can really drive you crazy. I find that if I don't switch off, which is like turning off a machine, I never truly recharge my batteries.
Exactly. If you don't switch off your thoughts about work, your brain just keeps running in the background. I like to take a breather, which is just a short little rest, maybe just a coffee for 10 minutes. It's a bit shorter than taking a break, which usually implies a longer period of time away from the task.
That's a good distinction. I also think we need to indulge ourselves sometimes, do the things we enjoy most. Like for me, it's taking a load off, which is a very informal way to say sit down and relax, and reading a physical book. It helps me tune out the world for a while.
Tune out the world. I love that. I'm more of a blow off some steam kind of guy. I need to do something active, like go for a run or hit the gym, to get rid of all that locked up energy. It really helps take my mind off the stressful stuff at the office.
It's interesting how different everyone is. Some people want to chill out, which is a bit more slangy by doing nothing, while others need to be active. I read that stress management is like a salad bar. There are 30 different choices, and you just have to pick the techniques you actually enjoy.
A salad bar? I hope there's croutons on that stress relief salad. But you're right, you have to find what works for you on an ongoing basis. For some, it might be letting your hair down at a karaoke bar and going a little wild. For others, it's just being footloose and fancy-free with no plans at all for the weekend.
Oh, I haven't been footloose and fancy-free since, well, a long time. But even just looking at a beautiful picture on your computer screen for 10 seconds can alleviate stressed feelings immediately. Or taking a few deep breaths. It sounds simple, but diaphragmatic breathing, breathing into your belly, actually signals safety to your nervous system.
It's true. When we're under pressure, our breathing gets shallow and our heart pumps furiously. We're stuck in that fight or flight mode, even if the danger is just a long to-do list. I've noticed I get really tense in my neck and shoulders when I have a lot on my plate.
Me too. My dentist actually told me I grind my teeth at night because of it. That's why we have to be proactive and slow down before we reach the point of burnout. Burnout is when that emotional exhaustion just accumulates until you feel totally depleted of energy.
Yeah, and it makes you short-tempered or touchy, which isn't fair to the people around you. You might even snap someone's head off for no reason because you're just overworked. It's so important to recognize those warning signs early on.
It really is. So whether you're hanging out with friends or taking a personal day to just do nothing, you have to prioritize your well-being. It's not being lazy, it's making sure you don't overextend yourself.
Exactly. You've got to take it easy sometimes so you can come back feeling refreshed and have a blast with whatever you're doing next.
Okay, before we dive deeper into our strategies, I have to tell you what happened to me this morning. I was so wound up about our recording that when a tiny pigeon landed on my balcony, I actually jumped and accidentally threw my piece of toast across the kitchen. My body thought that poor bird was a major threat.
Oh man, the toast throwing reflex. It sounds like your survival mechanism was definitely set to high sensitivity today, Anna. It's funny because we often call stress a survival mechanism, but throwing your breakfast at a bird isn't exactly helping you survive, is it?
Not at all. But that's exactly what's happening inside us. When we feel under pressure, our brain goes into an extended fight or flight response, which is basically our nervous system reacting to danger. It's like our body crashes up the gears and throws all its resources into getting us moving.
Right, and I've heard that your heart starts pumping furiously to increase your blood pressure. Plus, you get a fuel injection of glucose sent straight to your muscles so you can run away or stay and fight. It makes sense if you're facing a tiger, but it's a bit much for a pigeon or a Monday morning email.
Exactly. And we have these stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, flooding our system. Cortisol is meant to sustain the stress response, but if it stays high for too long because of chronic stress, it can actually impair your brain's ability to think clearly or even remember things. That's probably why you were clicking your car keys at your apartment door, Dan.
That explains a lot. My frontal lobe logic was definitely offline. But I was reading that not all stress is actually bad. There's this word, eustress?
Yes, eustress. It's basically good stress that makes you feel motivated and alert, like the excitement you feel before starting a new job or planning a big event. It feels challenging but manageable, and it pushes you to grow positively.
So the goal isn't to live a life with zero stress, but to keep it at a manageable level so it doesn't turn into distress, which is the harmful, overwhelming kind. I guess it's about finding that balance where we can push the envelope and step outside our comfort zone without totally crashing.
I love that. Pushing the envelope means trying something new or testing your limits, which is great for personal growth. But to stay in that healthy zone, we need tools. I found a really neat acronym that helps people beat stress. It literally spells out the word STRESS.
Oh, I love a good acronym. Let's hear it.
Okay, so the first S stands for scheduling. Experts say we shouldn't schedule too many things in one day. If you feel totally overwhelmed, you should look at your list and cut out an activity or two.
That's a tough one for people pleasers, but so necessary. What about the T?
T is for treating your body well. This means eating healthy food for nourishment and getting plenty of exercise because movement actually helps clear excess cortisol from your blood.
I definitely feel better after a run. It's like it burns off all that locked up energy. Okay, so we have scheduling and treating the body. What's the R?
R is for relax. You have to find an activity you enjoy, whether it's a new hobby, reading a book, or even visiting a spa. For me, it's playing the piano. It really helps me unwind.
And the E?
E is for expectations. We have to be realistic and true to ourselves. Trying to be perfect all the time just creates more pressure. So we should just focus on doing our best and letting go of that perfectionist mindset.
That hits home. Sometimes good enough is actually okay. And I'm guessing the last two S letters are pretty important.
You bet. The next S is for sleep. Getting more than 7 hours of sleep keeps your mind and body in shape and helps you recover from that mental fatigue. And the very last S is for smile.
Smile? That sounds almost too simple.
It really does, but having a positive attitude and confidence influences how you see your problems. If you can learn to think in a more positive way, you'll feel much more comfortable when you're coping with stress. Plus, you can't really quake with fear if you're busy having a laugh with friends.
Quake with fear. I haven't heard that one in a while. It means to shake because you're so scared or nervous. But you're right, socializing and having a laugh is like a natural antidote to that red alert feeling.
It truly is. It's like we're giving our brain a new story to tell itself, one where we are safe and supported, rather than constantly running from a tiger.
You know, Anna, speaking of that S for scheduling, I've realized that most of my stress comes from the office. Right now, I am completely up to my ears in a new project. I feel like if one more person asks me for a status update, my head is actually going to explode.
Oh, I hear you. Up to your ears. That's a great way to describe it. It's like you're literally buried in paper or emails. I was snowed under last week myself with all the editing for the podcast. When you're overworked like that, it's so easy to let things get on your nerves.
Exactly. And when someone drives you crazy with constant questions, you end up taking it out on the people you love. I felt so bad yesterday because I was just not feeling myself. I was touchy and sensitive, and I snapped my roommate's head off just because he asked what was for dinner.
Ha, poor roommate. But that happens when we've had it up to here with pressure. We feel like we can't take it anymore. For our listeners, it's important to know that you had better speak up before you reach that explosion point.
Had better, that's a strong one, right? I remember my English teacher saying that had better is much more urgent than just saying should or ought to. It's like a warning.
It really is. You should try to relax, but you had better slow down or you'll get sick. It's all about the strength of the advice. If you're at your wit's end, you must take a step back.
But Anna, how do you actually tell your boss that you're struggling to cope? It feels so intimidating.
It is, but experts suggest using assertive communication. Instead of just complaining, you could say something like, I've been feeling quite overwhelmed lately and I'm not feeling myself. Then provide a list of your current projects to show the volume of work.
Oh, like documentation. So I could say, I'm handling Project A and Project B, and I'm finding it challenging to meet all the deadlines.
Exactly. And then you ask for guidance. You can say, could you help me prioritize these tasks to ensure I'm focusing on the right areas? It shows you're being proactive and professional rather than just lazy.
I like that. It turns the stress talk into a problem-solving talk. It's much better than just waiting until you burn out completely. I've noticed that when I don't speak up, I start getting those physical warning signs like muscle tension in my neck or even insomnia.
Oh, the jaw tension is the worst. I catch myself clenching my teeth while I'm typing. When that happens, I know I need to take a breather immediately. Even just going for a walk helps.
Wait, I love how you said going for a walk. I've noticed in English we use that go plus ing structure for almost all our favorite ways to unwind, right?
You're right. We go swimming, we go running, we go hiking. It's different from saying I swim. When you say I go swimming, it sounds more like a leisure activity, the whole experience of going to the pool and relaxing.
That makes sense. It's like a restorative practice. I definitely need to go skating or go running this weekend to recharge my batteries. If I don't, I think I'll stay in this red alert mode forever.
Well, don't forget that you can also alleviate that feeling by grounding yourself in the moment. Have you heard of those grounding techniques? Like identifying 3 things you can see or feeling your feet firmly on the ground?
Is that what people mean by mindfulness?
Exactly. It's about tuning out the world and focusing on the here and now, so your brain stops racing about the future. It's a great way to turn off your mind for a bit.
I need a mind off switch for sure. Sometimes I feel like my brain is a radio stuck on loud and I just can't find the volume knob.
We all do. But that's why finding those flow states are so important. Those activities where you lose track of time because you're so engaged. For me, it's playing piano. For you, it might be going running.
Definitely. It's about finding what's on your personal stress management salad bar.
So, Dan, we've covered the tiger in our brains and how to talk to the boss. But let's talk about that amazing feeling when the stress actually, poof, goes away. For me, finishing a big project feels like a weight off my shoulders, or like a weight has been lifted.
Oh, I know that feeling. It's the literal sigh of relief. It's that moment when you were so worried about something, but then, nothing bad actually happens. You feel like you can finally breathe because the tension is gone.
Exactly. It's like you were suffocating under all those demands, and suddenly you feel back to normal. But, we really have to be careful not to let things get so bad that we hit burnout. The sources define burnout as a state of emotional exhaustion where you feel depleted of energy, worn out, and just plain unhappy at work.
Yeah, and it's not just feeling tired. The World Health Organization actually recognizes it as a disease of the modern day. It can lead to insomnia, muscle pain, and even a weakened immune system. I think I was burning the candle at both ends last month, working early and staying up late, and I definitely felt that resentfulness creeping in.
Burning the candle at both ends, that's a classic idiom for overextending yourself. If you do that too much, you'll definitely burn out. That's why we ought to, and that's our medium strength advice modal again, we ought to set boundaries.
Boundaries are so hard, though. It means saying no sometimes so you don't overextend yourself. But as Anne Lamott said, I love this quote, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you.
That is so true. We're like smartphones. If we don't unplug and recharge our batteries, we just stop working. And sometimes you just need a personal day or a self-care day to just focus on yourself instead of your problems.
A personal day sounds like a dream right now. I'd just kick back, put my feet up, and maybe let my hair down a bit. Maybe even get off the grid and go to a place where my phone doesn't work.
Off the grid, you'd last about 5 minutes without your Maps app, Dan. But seriously, for our listeners, if you're feeling at your wit's end, try those short-term strategies. Even the cold shower can help by rapidly changing your body temperature to lower your heart rate.
A cold shower? Brr. I think I'd rather just go walking in nature. Or maybe go skating. I heard that's a great way to blow off some steam and have a laugh, especially when you fall down.
Yes, you can't quake with fear if you're laughing at yourself for slipping on the ice. So to wrap everything up, let's quickly revisit that STRESS acronym for beating the pressure.
Right. S is for scheduling, don't do too much. T is for treating your body well with exercise and healthy food. R is for relaxing with a new hobby or a book.
And E is for expectations. Be realistic and stop trying to be perfect. S is for sleep. Get those 7+ hours to keep your mind in shape. And the final S is to smile, because a positive attitude changes how you see your problems.
That's a lot of great tools for the stress salad bar. I'm definitely going to prioritize my rest this weekend and take it easy. I might even indulge in a little bit of that retail therapy we mentioned earlier, though maybe my bank account will be the one getting stressed then.
Keep it balanced then. Well, everyone, we hope this conversation helped you unwind a little today and gave you some great new English expressions to use when you're under pressure. Learning to describe your feelings is such a huge part of becoming fluent and confident.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to English Podcast on your favorite platform. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is your favorite way to de-stress? Do you go running, swimming, or just hang out with friends?
Yes, let us know. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a friend who might be feeling a bit snowed under lately. We're all in this together.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Remember to take a breather today and be kind to your brain.
Stay calm, keep practicing, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Goodbye.